Morning, everyone. This is Trend Follower this side, and it's that time of the week. We'll plan for this week and see important zones or stories that can build up, which can give us good trades. Last week, there wasn't much action on my side, except I took just one trade throughout the week. I had to be really patient out there. Couldn't find much on GBP CHF. Did very well on that. I think 2 hour. I'm still on that trade. We'll see what happens. But whatever it is, let's plan for the upcoming week. So if you have been here before, you already know this. I love to know what's happening on the news side, right? At least there are some things we can know. So this week I have a feeling it again would be slow, and I'm not just saying because of the news. I'm also saying because of the charts I've seen. Either it would be slow or choppy, and it will like make sense when I show the charts. But with respect to the calendar, we at the start of the week there are bank holidays, so I'm not expecting much action on Monday in particular. But let's see because we had on Friday also. We'll see. But the main action would be at mid part of the week, which is around Euro, GBP, and USD. You have the PMIs coming up, all three. So that would be damn interesting, right? That's the only most important news that I can see. Other than that, you have again bank holidays for Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar, but then later Canadian retail sales and GBP retail sales. So my focus primarily would be on the mid part of the week around Euro and GBP and USD. And that's what I think. But again, this week, guys, I feel let's be careful. We'll go through the charts. It can be a slow week. Let's be patient this week, guys. Yeah, so let's go get to the charts. I really feel this week, guys. Be very careful this week. I have a feeling that it's gonna be a slow week if you are not in the right currencies. I feel there would be some choppiness, uh, possibly, and that was even before seeing the news, just because of the charts. I have a feeling that there may be some manipulation, and let me explain why. I think we are in a transition period of changing trends in monthly time frame. So whenever that happens, the end of the month can be choppy. So this week is the last full week we'll have, and I say full with holidays for the monthly candle to end. But then we have 2, 3 days in the next week, coming week after this week, right? So that's gonna be interesting. So there are some signs which really shows that monthly trend is changing, especially on Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. So let me quickly show what I mean by that, uh, so that you guys know that there is some picture being painted. So you see this, if the monthly, where's this guy? Right? So New Zealand dollar, this was the previous month high, and we clearly have this up close candle. Now, of course, there are days left in this month, so it is possible that we come back down and close below. The probability has reduced because of the way it has gone up, right? So that's my thought process here. So when New Zealand dollar is doing this kind of action and Australian dollar is doing this kind of action, I have a feeling that the risk of theme is on pause, right? That's what I think at least, right? So that's my main criteria, main thought process right now. Having said that, the move upwards from both Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar has been damn straight, right? So I do think we need a pullback here. Ideally, I would love a pullback because this would be a very clean trade, guys. Very, very clean trade. Okay, before I just wanted to share this thought. Now, the second thought I wanted to share is I think DXY definitely will show strength in between of the week, but I consider that most probably uh, manipulation, at least for this week. And let me show you one thing where I think why DXY will first act weak, maybe grab liquidity, then act strong, and then vice versa. So if you see, I just will quickly go through some futures chart, equal highs here on the top. This doesn't have much. Then uh this one in particularly, there is drawn liquidity here, I think. Then there were two more charts. Yeah, Canadian dollar equal highs here. Then JPY on USD JPY has equal lows. You can go and look there. CHF has gone straight up, can pull down, right? But point being, what I wanted to really show is the risk of currencies have equal high. Australian dollar, and then Canadian dollar has equal highs, right? And JPY, as I said, USD JPY has equal lows. Which basically means that USD DXY should act weak first, and then maybe this is like grab of liquidity, right? So some in just taking Australian dollar as an example, it grabs liquidity from here, comes down, and then goes up continue. So this comes down part would be because DXY will show strength a little bit. That's what I think. The second thought process here is if you see DXY has just gone straight down, right? And you got the liquidity from here, both areas, right? So whenever that happens, there's no way that you can just, ignore the fact that it's possible for one green candle, right? So that's why I think what is gonna happen here is either this is your liquidity, right? Extremely, or this is your liquidity, right? So ideally, what I would like to see is you come down here and then go up, right? Now, if you want continuous weakness in DXY, the best case scenario is you start the week with DXY strength, right? You come in this weekly fair value gap and then you go down, right? If that happens, that means there's more space to go down because it went up without taking liquidity from below. That's what I think. Now, point being, the point which I am trying to really mention here is that right now I'm not at a stage where I can be like, okay, let's just play DXY short, let's just play USD short, right? I want it to come into this fair value gap before taking a short on USD names. Why am I saying that? Because it's too extended, guys. The risk to reward just doesn't make sense. I may get stopped out easily from my notes. So that's my thought on DXY. That what I really want on DXY is there is this weekly fair value gap where I will be focusing on. Now, within that, the good thing is all of this is happening through a daily candle, right? Daily supply candle. It's not a clean one, but it is something. So I would like to see that, like if it comes here, how does it react in this region, right? So what I would love to see is you, if you see this here, weekly, let's move weekly here. Yeah, where is that? Where did that go? Anyway, okay. So this here is your weekly candle, right? So am I on DX future? Yeah, perfect. So this here is your weekly level, right? So I think I marked it wrong because it was monthly, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so this whole thing is your weekly fair value gap, right? Within this weekly fair value gap, what I would like to see is there is a gap here, right? And you can consider this one. Uh, where did my, okay, here it is. Okay, I don't know where the favorite bar went, but you can consider this area as your fair value gap. Sorry, there was a gap here, right? And this candle as an 8-hour supply. So all this area has extreme probability. So what I would like to see is rejection from that area. So from there, let me, yeah, here it is. Okay. So from there, this is the candle I'm talking about. So if we can come here, that's the perfect combination because if you come here, that means you are in 8-hour supply, you are in a gap, and you are in a weekly fair value gap. Now keep in mind that you may have to fight this zone before because this is also a very clean zone. So you may get two chances. One is here, one is here, depending on how DXY acts. I personally love the higher one more. The reason I say that is because look at this weekly candle, right? It's a very small weekly candle. on weekly time frame, it shouldn't be very hard to beat this weekly candle, this zone. Plus, you have taken the liquidity from here. So let's say you want to play USD strength. I would suggest let it test this area, right? Let's see what kind of demand it forms here. Then you play this. If you want to play weakness, either you can play a small move here for scalping, or if you want a longer move, then wait for this zone. That would be my suggestion. So that's DXY, guys. I'm waiting for weekly fair value gap there. So let's go to the next currency here, which I really like, is Australian dollar, right? And New Zealand dollar. Look at the similarity, guys. Both of them have formed a up close weekly candle. Now, granted, this is just the first weekly candle, and I never trust the first uh, weekly up close or down close, but this is a different case scenario. Why is this different case scenario? Because you had the power move, right? Like such a clean move up, right? But so what I am considering here, and you can add this to your the same logic to NSD or NZDUSD or odd USD, Australian dollar USD. I think they really want a monthly up close, right? So one logic, if it works, would be a great trade is let's say it tries to come below this here, which is the monthly level. So let me mark this. The previous monthly high, right? So let's say it tries to, where's the monthly level? Okay. So let's say they try to pull back here, right? And everyone may think, oh, this is coming down and all that, right? If they really want to close this candle above this, they have to do it. They don't have much time, right? Like let's say it happens mid next week or end of next week. I will really keep an eye over here. I have a feeling they don't want to close below this monthly high, right? So, and this is forming a clean monthly demand, right? So I think this area, typically most probably this area, and extended would be below this, but I love this zone. So I couldn't find a clean daily demand here, right? So I wouldn't say like I have a clean daily demand here, but what I could see, I guess, where did that go? Okay, I cannot see it right now. But point being, like, if you even look at lower time frame, there are multiple uh, candles here, like which can form like demand, but it's not like clean. Like this is not a powerful clean demand, right? So I could find something like this on NZD USD. I think it's marked there, like a 12 hour on both Australian dollar USD and NZD USD that I really like, but it wasn't covered by a daily demand, right? So what I'm trying to say here is I'll let price action come here and see what happens. See the price action here. But this is the zone. Please be very, very, uh, mark it on your charts because I have a feeling like they don't want monthly candle to close below this. They want an up close monthly candle, in my opinion. And that's where, if this idea works, this can be a great move, right? So that's where my primary focus would be. The second is Australian dollar USD. Of course, you should know if you don't that NZD USD is more powerful than Australian dollar USD. So that's why that is my first priority. On NZD USD, as I said, the same 12-hour candle, it's marked on this guy uh, on or Australian dollar USD chart. But on futures chart, what I'm considering is this as a demand, right? Now, what I don't like is it's not like this cloud candle is huge, right? So I would again, I think this here was a great demand, right? So what I consider them are vacuums, this one, this area. So I think price will get attracted here. Will it bounce or not? Depends if they really want to change the trend, right? But what is good about this, which I really liked, was there was a 12-hour fair value gap, which really got respected here, right? So I think if you want good action for upside, this has a lot of permutation combination. And let me tell you why. So one is almost a bullish engulfing line here, right? Second is a fair value gap here, right? Third, as I said, this is a 12-hour candle. On NZDUSD, this is a clear demand, right? So other than that, I couldn't find much there. So I feel if it comes here, that would be a perfect candle. And as I said, I'm considering this as weekly demand. So this zone here, below this, and then if it recovers this area, because I don't blindly trade fair value gaps. But if it recovers back here, that means it's bouncing from a fair value gap with important levels. So you can see a move up. Of course, it has equal highs. So what will happen is this liquidity taken, come back down, and then go up. That's what I think. Now, there is a risk with playing DUSD and NZD USD right now, which is the monthly trend wasn't strong in many names. But if there is one name where the monthly trend wasn't that bad, it's USD names. Look at those, like multiple green candles, right? So that's why I my primary focus this week would be these two. Uh, so let's go with that. And within that, my primary focus is NZD CAD and NZD USD. So similarly, what I showed there, I will just show a quick uh, sh- I will quickly show on this chart. So same as I showed there, right? There was a weekly line here. Yeah, so weekly high, this weekly high, then previous week if you consider this as demand, and then this is what I call a candle with no wick, right? So price gets attracted towards it many times. So when this candle gets formed, right, what you will have is a clear uh, in a region where your weekly demand and whatever I showed on 6N, which is the futures chart, the same combination on NZD USD. What I really like is the flat wick structure. So this area is your perfect combination to go up. Keep in mind that the theory we have is they want a monthly up close candle. Now, I would say this, right? You are saying, I mean, I am saying that, it should come here. So there is a move that you can play to the downside also, right? And the name which really works for this kind of move right now is either you play NZD CHF, like CHF or JPY because they were strong, or Euro or GBP, right? So from there, if we are thinking in the right direction, Euro and GBP on Friday gave me a signal which I didn't play because holiday and all that. So I'm waiting for more information here. But there is a chance that this particular level, if you see, you have this weekly high, right? And the trend has been strong. So it can play something like that. What I would really like to see is it breaks above this, and that means break of structure, and then you have a higher high, and you come here a higher low, and then you play the upside. Now, the upside, I do think if we see proper strength from Euro and GBP, there is a possibility that you can test this area. One risk that you have here is, we have a weekly down close candle, right? On both GBP, NZD, and Euro NZD. That's why if you are playing this upside, don't hold your trades for longer. At least for me, what I'm thinking is if I play this for upside, I will hold till this area, right? So I think what is possible here is you come here and then you go down, right? And then I don't know what, but this is my drawn liquidity here. Now I will give you a combination which I really like is as we said on NZD USD, this is the zone, on NZD CAD somewhere, this is the zone, right? Uh, I feel when GBP NZD comes here in these two areas, that and ideally, or Euro NZD breaks this weekly high, that's where you should start watching for price action. Where on NZD USD or NZD CAD, you get uh, solid price action on basically and strength on NZD names, right? I think you can even look for that in GBP NZD. That's not wrong. But point being, because the reason I say that is because NZD USD and NZD CAD has much more stronger candles than something like Euro NZD and GBP NZD. So yeah, if you want to play NZD weakness, I think Euro NZD and GBP NZD is your best bet, where the price action can be something like this. The reason I say that is because it took the liquidity from here, and you have a very clean 8-hour demand here, and you can go something like this, where your target should be somewhere here, right? Similarly, on Euro NZD, the same logic. It can come here, it can go there. Weekly high would be your target. After that, at least put your stop loss to break even. Maybe it goes there, right? Now, if you want to play NZD strength, you need some patience this week. I have a feeling NZD, USD, and CAD would be better. The perfect combination would be all these names comes below the weekly candles, weekly high or low, except GBP and NZD, which will come in this zone, and that's where you can really, really play on NZD strength, and that would be, imagine this, guys. Think about this. If that happens after midweek, uh, that means, let me see if I can. Okay, I basically I have a calendar on the other side of the window. But if this happens on the midweek, so let's say 23rd, 24th. So to end the week, they will just have to end the monthly candles, they will just have 3 to 4 days, right? So I think that would be the perfect combination, because then what you will see basically, I think, would be something like, oh, you have a down close here. So ideally, this happens on Thursday or something, and next whole week you will get that up move, right? Next to next whole week. So that's the whole theory where I think NZD they want monthly up close candle. Okay, so then we go through CAD name. On CAD name, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think again equal highs, right? So there are two plays that are happening here. One is obviously you have equal highs, you break, and then you see USD strength a little bit, like I showed on DXY chart. I don't think it will happen this week or something, but I'm watching this zone, guys. The reason I'm watching this zone is basically there's a weekly fair value gap, right? Now, ideally, I would love if they can come back here. If it comes back here, then that's the perfect combination. So I have three zones here. One is any price action below this, which I typically would like this one. And the second one is if it can come, right? Will it happen this week? I don't know. I'm just pointing it out so that you have it marked on your chart. What I really love about the zone is it maps with something very important, right? So if you see this area where I have marked this area, you also see previous action, right? So I feel these two zones are very high probable zone on USD CAD. I don't know if it will happen this week, but I would really request you to add it in your chart. These daily candles are not mitigated. I mean, these zones haven't been tested. So it needs a pullback, guys. It needs a pullback. Similarly on NZDUSD, these haven't been tested. So it needs a pullback, right? So I think DXY needs to show some strength so that we get these pullback on these names. So you can either play that like DXY strength. Uh, I think that is possible. Once you basically test this extreme level, I will trust it. Before that, I'm not able to trust it, right? So I will see how the price action develops, right? So these two are my favorite names this week: NZD CAD and NZD USD. On Euro NZD, what I'm really waiting for is to get some more. more information. What I mean by that. So you have this daily clock, right? So can the next candle come down? Sure, it can, right? So, can it go up? Sure, it can. I just want one candle to show that it's holding here, and then I'm sure it can go up, right? So, I'm just waiting for Monday's candle to show up, like how it will look like. If it shows that, especially if it tests this area and makes a green candle, I can play the upside there. Most important, or it breaks the structure, and then I can play the upside from there. So I need one day's candle more to get that information to be on the safe side, and that's why these are lower on the list because I am waiting for that information on these names. But I would expect that these areas will be tested, so I would expect that it should come here. What I'm not sure about is, will it come here by making another candle and then going up or not? And that's where I need one day more information. If you don't want to wait for that, I would just suggest take that 8 hour demand from here, right? From here, and give it some buffer, basically. Right? So I think that is a possibility because we have formed a block here, right? So I would say y- you can either play it this way or you can play it that way later in the week. I would like to see some action here. I think this is a good possibility. The next is I wanted to talk about is GBP USD and Euro USD because why? Because they have shown strength in the past, right? And I think there can be a continuation. Now, what I would like to see is again DXY in that fair value gap and Euro USD in that fair value gap, where GBP USD shouldn't go in the fair value gap, right? The reason I say that is Euro USD is very extended, like DXY is very extended, and Euro USD is inverse of it. So there is a 4 hour demand here, which can it's a short one, which can act like a good zone. But if you also see, right, this fair value gap has been respected, right? So, and then what you also see is a very nice 4 hour demand, right? So you have so much uh, in here, so much action that typically I don't think it's coming down like that. But to get higher probability trade, I would like it to come into this 4 hour demand. I would like it to test this weekly fair value gap and then go up. Now, when you play upside for this, you keep in mind there's not much left for like I would what I'm trying to say is like maybe it goes up, then comes down, and then does it, then we'll see, we'll read it, right? But right now, what if I'm trading this, it is extended, so I will only trade this if pullback happens in this fair value gap and then play the upside. But I'm not planning to hold it all the way. I'll just play it till here, right? So that would be Euro USD for me, and GBP USD similarly, as I said, uh, that what I want is uh, some kind of pullback on these names, guys, right? So I'm considering this area as the demand candle, three candle move. So within that, there was an 8 hour demand, which is very, very beautiful. Why is it beautiful? Because if you see, it is just below the weekly low, previous week low, right? And within that, if you see, let me show this. This is 8 hour chart, right? So you can see this candle and you can see 12 hour this candle, right? So level on top of level. So I don't think it should go below this. So I think the price action here deserves some action like that. So that's GBP USD. So my first priority here would be GBP USD. Sorry, no, where did NZDCAD and NZD USD, and then GBP USD, GBP Euro USD, right? Because USD will show weakness most probably after showing strength, in my opinion. That would be first priority. Now the second is like not second, but third would be Euro NZD and GBP NZD. NZD, and why I say third is because there is one name which I really like, which is gold. After a long time, this guy has moved extremely well, extremely well. I would ideally love it to see it come here before going up. Will it happen or not? I don't know. But I think that's the perfect area for playing upside. Both gold and silver have shown us great strength, right? Gold more than silver. But I think what I'm trying to say here is what I really like about gold and silver is the move has been damn clear, right? With such move, you can get two actions, right? So one is a daily demand here, right? So I think what you can see is a move like this. Now, will it continue from there? I don't know. I would assume it should with such a strong move, at least break this high. The other one is I would really love for it to come in this region. If it comes in this region, that would be perfect move, right? Will it happen? I don't know. But right now, I think I would keep an eye if it comes in this region and focus on the chart here. So keep an eye on gold, guys. I think there is a good combination here because this zone is just below the weekly low, a weekly previous week low, a very clean daily zone, a very clean 12-hour zone here. So it's a very clean zone. The only thing is that you need a big pullback, right? If you compare with 12-hour candle. So it is possible that after you get an entry here, see how the candles closes, right? So I think gold, I don't know if it will come here or not. If it further goes upside, we'll see. But this is the this is these are the com metals right now, gold and silver, which should be you should watch it, right? Basically, because these are clean action, clean up moves, right? So I think that is a big probability that if it comes here, it should give you a nice bounce back. So for me, first priority would be NZDCAD and USD. Second would be GBPUSD and EURUSD. Third would be gold silver, which is basically XLG USD and XAU USD. But in there, I will focus on uh, futures chart more, right? So that's where the most important trade I feel for the week would be. There's one more combination that came uh, in my mind if it happens, which I wanted to share is because USD has been weaker, right? So within that, there is a combination that USD, JPY, and CHF may act stronger at some point, right? So let's say USD, JPY, CHF first act weak, and let's say this week we come up, right? We come up. This zone, guys, can give you a very good trade. Why? Because when it comes here, you will be in this weekly block zone here, and maybe on CAD CHF, you would be in this zone, right? So I think that would be a beautiful combination that if CAD JPY comes in this zone and CAD CHF comes in this zone, I will take a shot here on CAD names. And what you will see here is on both of these candles, you will be above the weekly candle uh, and in the weekly fair value gap, a little above. So pure manipulation most probably. And similarly on CAD JPY, guys, right? Not the weekly fair value gap, but you will be above the weekly red candle, right? If this combination happens, I just wanted to alert you, if this combination happens, it will provide you a very high probability trade. So keep that in mind. Uh, yeah, that's it for this week, guys. I hope it made sense. Let me know how you liked the video. You didn't like the video, whatever it is, I'm always open for that. I will continue making these videos. Hope you guys have a great trading week. Stay safe, guys. Happy trading.